Check one, check two. How's everybody doing today? Let's get started. I'll cut off my little heater. It's a lot warmer here though. So, how's everybody doing? Let me share my screen. Of course, you know how we do it. If you got any cybersecurity questions, just drop those in the chat. Whew, man, trying to get motivated. It's been a long day for me already. Let's see. I was going to do the thumbnail over there. Sure. Let's see. We're getting started. You see the thumbnail. Just letting a few people drop in. Like I said, it's a weird time for me. Like I said, I had a long work day, but it's all good. Let's see. Just making sure we're good. Just making sure we're good. That's good. So once again, you know how we do it. If you got any cybersecurity questions, just drop them in the chat. Like I said, this is kind of a weird time for me. I just thought I would just go live and just talk about Elon Musk, the Tesla bot, humanoid robot at the top. Right. Elon Musk said that's his number one priority now. Not the Tesla, not the cyber truck, not the cyber semi. Right. So for those nerds and Star Trek fans, resistance is futile, right? Technology is coming, it's here, it's gonna grow more and more, right, and become more and more integrated into society. So um so I'm about to start. Like I said, you know me, professor with a few slides. Let's see, the name is Optimus. That's the Tesla bot's code name was Optimus, which I thought was cute. Then you had Sonny from iRobot. Then classic Terminator at the bottom, right? So we're gonna weave all those together and just kind of just talk about Tesla. Like I said, Elon Musk is generational, transcending, super deep thinker, right? So I thought I would talk about the Tesla bot today. So let's get into it, right? So I'm sure people will follow. And once again, if you got a cybersecurity questions or checking in on a replay, just put them in the comments or leave a comment on the video. Let's get it. So Tesla bot Optimus. We're gonna always, on my channel, we're gonna get it from a cybersecurity perspective. What's your favorite hacker movie, Professor? I gotta think actually. I like the series with Mr. Robot as far as a series. I'm trying to think what individual movie I would consider. And like I said, Mr. Robot's in there. I have to think about that. There was a couple that were kind of like under the radar that I like. So I got to think about that, Jam. How you doing today, man? I'm glad you can join me. So Elon Musk on his earnings call talking about early 2021 said that the Tesla pod is the most important thing to Tesla, which I was shocked by that when he said that, right? Oh, when he said that's the most important thing to his company was the Tesla bot, right? Where all the things he got going on, all the things that's happened to him, that's he believes is the number one priority is the Tesla bot. And I'm thinking that's not even real. That's that's vaporware, right? That's something you talked about. You don't even have a prototype of the Tesla bot created. So for him to say that, so I don't know if that's something to put out in the future, keep his employees happy, keep his company grinding. What's up, Easy? Just here trying to do a little Tesla bot. So when Elon Musk said that's the number one priority of his company, what was that? I appreciate that, Master IT. Another level mentality. Too many people think Tesla, a car company, is really a tech company. He's a forward thinking. He's not feeling the metaverse though. Nah, you're 100% correctly. And he actually said that on the next slide is Tesla bot said the most important product development is the to his team. This year will not be one of the many vehicles his unveiled on stage, but thus far failed to build. Instead, it's his human robot Optimus, a change to the priorities that came as a surprise to many. Right? The customers are still waiting 3 years for the semi truck, 2 years for the Roadster, 1 year for the Cybertruck. Right? And he comes out with that, and on top of that, he believes Tesla is actually a robotics company. He believes that Tesla actually is a robot on wheels, right? And we're going to go through it when you talk about the vision, the neural networks, the planning, the prediction of the car of what's going to happen. It tries to predict to be able to avoid accidents and stuff. And I never thought about a Tesla as a robot on wheels. So shout out. So yeah. So he definitely thinks of um, Optimus, the robot, is actually just an extension of the car, right? Because you got the vision, you got the prediction, you got the neural networks, you got the thinking of it, right? So I just never thought of as a Tesla as a robot. I thought of as an artificial intelligence, which is kind of like a robot, but he stated that he believes Tesla actually is a robot on wheels. JM states he probably has so much money now that he's the only one care about doing things that are very interesting. No, I agree with him on that. But he was like that when they was in the part of the PayPal mafia. He was one of the big thinkers and part of PayPal. So the owner of LinkedIn, I can't think of his name. He actually gave Elon Musk the big thinker hat because the PayPal mafia is like 9 guys, and they all think Elon Musk is the biggest thinker of those guys. So once all those guys made $1 billion with PayPal, they all started new companies and different companies. Everything from Nation Intelligence Company, Peter Thiel, LinkedIn. I mean, there's some, all those guys spun up other companies. So it was unique on about that, right? So I always put the Terminator in there, right? So is Elon Musk building the next Terminator? Is robots going to overtake the human race, right? So I always put the Terminator in there. I don't know. I always do that. It makes me laugh. So what about the Tesla bot, right? So the cool thing about the Tesla bot, Elon Musk said he made it low powered, right? So if it does become Terminator, it only goes 5 miles an hour. So theoretically you should be able to run away from it. And the second part of that is uh, the strength of the actual robot is super low, so you should be able to overpower it. So Elon Musk in his thinking made sure that he wasn't creating a Terminator, right? So my thought pattern though are those software requirements, meaning the robots has that strength and the software stopping it. If that's the case, if the robot becomes sentient, it could take those software limits out, right? So now it's punching through walls or punching through other stuff, right? So, um, two is from a cybersecurity perspective, what is the fail safes? What things from a hacker standpoint? If you hack the Tesla bot, what's the risk to you as your home, your family? Most people have kids, right? There's risk to having a Tesla bot, in there, right? So what does that look like? And also the upgraded bot, right? Because they made some enhancement is it has autopilot cameras, FSD computers in the chest, multicam video for neural networks planning, right? Meaning it's thinking, right? It's not being sentient, but and we're going to talk about some possible jobs for it, right? So it's thinking ahead of time. Like one thing we're going to talk about too is CNA and hospital work. Most of CNA work and other work that could be offloaded to a robot is just helping somebody go to the bathroom. And we're going to talk about that later. The future jobs that you can think, right, is just helping somebody go to the bathroom, or if somebody slips and falls in their room, they're just help them up and get back in the bed. So the thing that really, because my mom passed away 3 years ago, when I used to go to the nursing home a lot, and I used to go a lot, is how many people didn't have any visitors ever, right? This is not a human being, but you can teach you to play cards, you can teach you to play spades, you can teach you to play tonk, right? Hopefully, when I get old, we can do our YouTube videos from the nursing home just through the to Optimus Prime, right? It's got a camera, it's got lights in the eyes, right? It's got audio. You can just run, you can use it as your next YouTube station will be Optimus, right? So you can do it some things as you get older, right? To just keep you company, right? So auto labeling, simulation tools, FSD hardware, dojo training is, we're going to touch on a little bit there, is machine learning. If you want to let it to get to that part and start thinking, I knew my man Engineering Cannabis was going to show up. Shout out to Engineering Cannabis, like dojo training, FS hardware. We're going to talk about the custom chip they made for machine learning as part of their car and also part of the robot, right? So the robot could do, like machine learning, teach it chess. I love chess, right? I don't play it enough anymore because I'm always so busy. But if I'm older and I just want to chill, and me and my Optimus Prime robot could play chess with me, take me to the bathroom. If I fall, help me back up, right? That's $1 billion product right there. And Elon Musk said, a lot of people, new people joining us, this is his number one project. Not the Tesla, not the Tesla 3, not the Cybertruck, not the semi. It's this little robot, right? Because there's so many applications for that in the future, right? That I think with people staying home and too is especially overseas, Japan, Chinese, their population is getting older and our population getting older. So this is one of the things that the Tesla bot could help you stay at home longer if you wanted to stay at home, right? So Tesla, which we know is to do that type of level of computation, they created their own chip, right? To do that computation, to be able to scale up to do that level of processors and flops in there, right? Master IT, damn, stock stuffing as Walmart too, security guards. True. But Jay, remember, they only got them running at 5 miles an hour. Them dudes been coming out of Walmart, be hauling ass. No, that's all. We have to get the speed limit up on the Tesla bot to catch some people now. People worrying about people coming from overseas getting jobs. 100%. And Master IT, people worrying about people coming overseas to get their job. This is your placement right here. Yeah, people don't know this, and I probably gonna have both of y'all on my channels. Engineering Cannabis is in there. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotics, and they said in the next 10 to 15 years are going to get 30 to 40 million jobs are going to replace with robots, right? Wow, shout out, God bless the dead, true. Okay, the first prototype is very expensive, essentially long, 102K, and then utilizing, 100%. Engineering Cannabis says the first prototype is very expensive. The essential loan is like 100 to 200K, and utilizing the artificial architecture. I'm gonna pull up anytime. Cool. But you're 100% right, Engineering Cannabis. But just like the cell phone, I had the first bag phone. I paid a crazy amount of money. Now we got homeless people with cell phones, man. You go to Silicon Valley, they talking about this is their cash app on their burner phone, right? Because phones are so cheap. So that's going to be the same thing with the Tesla bot. As technology, Moore's law, right? Every 18 months, it gets cheaper and faster. The better it gets, too, they're going to start using more off the shelf and less customizable features and stuff to build it, right? So it's going to get cheaper. So of course, shout out to Tesla. They doing a big. They make their own chips and memory and all kinds of stuff. This is their next version of the chip. Oh, I forgot the name of it. It had a cool name. So this is their chip they're using to put in their new semi trucks, cars, and things for machine learning and artificial intelligence. So it's coming out. I think it was D1, but once again, when you build new stuff and build new things, you got to have specialized chips. Probably in the next 4 or 5 years, these will be standard machine learning chips that wouldn't be inexpensive, right? But the thing is, when you do something so cutting edge, when you do new chips, new technology, right, you get new applications to use that type of technology. And right, so that's why he believes it's the Tesla car is actually a robot on wheels. Right. Then two is we getting into the cybersecurity part. Right. So um I always kind of like to peer into the technology future, and Elon Musk is definitely on one of those. I always laugh at him because he's trolling Mark Zuckerberg, he's trolling Jeff Bezos. So he's funny. He's got a little petty in his billionaire ish, right? So so but the cool thing is what other applications can you do with this chip when it becomes more mainstream, right? We're talking about new chips that are going to be in cars and phones. And when you talk about neural net, right? Neural nets is decentralized thinking. When you have a million robots spread out over a country as a neural net, and they're looking at different things across different sides of the country, what can they predict by all those different visions and thought patterns from a neural net thinking all simultaneously, right, about a certain feature, right? So all that's decentralized computer power that's going to be spread out. That's at Elon Musk's fingertips, right? So if the bot sees an accident and you in a car, right, it can tell the other bot don't come this way, right? We're already doing that with Waves and Google Maps, right? But if you got a million or 10 million robots, what is going to be the prediction on top of that, right? So how are you going to, use that technology and computer power to do things we ain't even thought of? Facts. NVIDIA has chips that are faster than Teslas that run deep learning. I need to send this new chip they said is faster than the NVIDIA engineering cannabis. I don't know if that's true. I was just reading a little about it. They said theirs is faster than NVIDIA. This is a brand new chip that they just wrote out. I don't know if that's true or not, engineering cannabis. I'm just giving you some new info. Do you think the processors are also vulnerable to meltdown and Spectre process? Yeah, I don't know if those two things specifically, but there will be attacks to those new chips that haven't been foreseen yet, because they were talking about this chip actually is 100 chips that communicate with each other in between chips, JM. And I probably do a video on that on the machine learning standpoint. So it's something different. So I'm sure they haven't thought of all the ways that you could attack that chip, JM. So I'm sure there's some vulnerabilities. I'm sure they're going to have bug bounties. I was talking to somebody. I'm sure Tesla's having bug bounties on these chips. So people are going to find different ways to attack this chip. I'm sure of it. So their architecture still being developed. These tips can be used blockchain, checking out gaming. They now use machine learning to learn gameplay and make. Oh, that's true, because they had, I guess, one of the harder games to defeat is called. Is it Risk? It's a Japanese game. I guess it has trillions of permutations, and I guess they were using those chips to figure out how to do that game Risk. So I guess it's like supposed to be 100 times harder than chess. So definitely doing that engineering cannabis, and that's how they test the chip, make sure the chip is learning, and make sure the chip is progressing. Right? Is it? We wouldn't say it's sentient, but it's just machine learning, right? It's taking a trillion patterns quicker than you could think and trying to run out all the possible finishes for those particular chips. So shout out to the Tesla bot, right? So part of Tesla from a cybersecurity part is it's a neural network, right? Neural network is nodes communicating with each other, spread out, kind of like your brain as a network. And so if you look at part of the car driving, it's finding different landmarks and points and things that could figure out a problem. It's looking at the other car, right? And it's taking those and making calculations and give them those numbers of issues, problems, and things to avoid and possible things they think that can happen, right? So that's the neural network of the Tesla chip in there while you're driving the car. So it's identifying all the parked cars, identifying moving cars, figuring out the speed of the car coming towards you, right? To figure out, if you need to take evasive action, what are your options, and then how do you make those moves, right? But once again, Tesla, like we were talking about, it's just not a car company, right? It's a robotic and neural network and artificial intelligence company when you put all that technology together. I'm new to cybersecurity. Do you have any tips for a newcomer? Yeah. How new are you? You have no skills. My man at the top, Master IT, does basic cybersecurity certifications to get you in the game. Brother Michael, do you have no degree? You trying to get into the certs route? What part of cybersecurity are you trying to get in? Like there's red team, which is offensive. Purple team is application security. Blue team's defensive. I do GRC, which is actually compliance, Brother Michael. So which part of cybersecurity? Or two is I teach cybersecurity classes on Saturday. I try to do every 8 months touch on a specific domain that's in cybersecurity. Right. Like I said, my man Master IT's in there. He's got certification classes you can take. If you're brand new, there's Network Plus, ITF, A Plus. So like you said, when you say newcomer, are you new to computers? You got networking background? You've been a programmer? So yep, JM. So yeah, so like I said, you gotta add a little bit to that, Brother Michael. You got a lot of people in this chat that can help you, right? And so yeah, so getting your neural network games. That's why Tesla is more than a car company. Right? Then also autonomy algorithms, like you're driving from the driver's perspective, right? They have sensors, so they're actually taking it from their cars in front of you, mapping out the road, mapping out the grids, because I think that's out of bounds, like you playing a video game, right? And two is if you look at the dashboard, they got the map of where you're going over top of what they're mapping from a driver's perspective, right? So the other part, the neural networks was like, okay, what's the damage? What's coming for me? What's dangerous? This is where do I need to drive to be safe? How fast is the car driving in front of me? If you look at the dashboard, it says it's in self-driving mode. Two is it's smart enough to know if it's rain, what's the stopping distance for rain versus snow, right? So these cars take a lot of that into considerations, right? And me and engineering cannabis, we were talking about this, and he brought that up. Is if a kid's walking on the side of the road, all right, it's potential danger. If the kid jumps out in front of your car has to make a decision. Do I jam on the brakes? The calculation still might be the child can die. Right? Should I swerve to a left onto oncoming traffic? My driver has a 50% chance of driving, right? So the point people don't think about is we have to program that into the car to make decisions on what the car should the car hit the kid? Should the car swerve and put the driver in danger, right? Those are all programming concepts that we have to decide what the car is going to do, right? Then engineering cannabis brought up there, if I got facial recognition and that person jumped out in the street is a felon, is the calculation different than if it's a kid, right? A kid has a longer life to live, so is it more valuable than an older felon, right? We can program all that in the car. Is that something we want Congress to make a decision on, right? So those are some big thinking items, right? That we're thinking about the ethics of a car. You got to make a decision on, right? Because the car could say they could identify the person. We know facial recognition's in there. We know they got the chip going at 1 billion teraflops. So it can make a decision that says that person's an 80-year-old felon. Their life value is X, like a video game. So if that person jumps out in front of the car, they're going to get hit, right? Right? So, right? So they're like, we're not swerving. I'm not putting Black Ops in danger. He bought the car, his citizen, because people know Japan, they give their citizen card as like a credit score. So if I can identify you and I got a citizen score on you, do I add that into the decisions I make to if the car should hit you? Right. So I don't know if engineering cannabis remember that conversation, but right. So those are some interesting thought patterns, right, that we can bring into a car that more than cybersecurity. Now we went from programming to artificial intelligence, a bit of cybersecurity. Now I went to the ethical programming of a car, right? And those are some things we gonna need to make a decision on. Let's see, bro. I have no degree, thinking of certifications on potentially new computers. I would check out my man Master IT there. Check out Tim and Tech G. They kind of got similar but different, offerings depending on what you need. Master IT, like I said, he has courses up there, really reasonable. He's got, you're gonna get into class, learn. Um, so those are some of the two things. And it's like JM said, I would pick somebody you're comfortable. And to be honest, I would do both of them, right? I'll pick a couple guys and get their certification courses and jump in and start. Like I said, Master IT's there, Tech G's there. Those are two guys from my clan that I usually start with. And to be honest, I would just do them both, right? And just figure out who you're comfortable with. And get in the game. I would start off with probably A plus. I'll let Master IT chime in the game. That will be my take on it. I got videos on intro to computers and intro to cybersecurity. For me, if you're new to computers, you got to get your computer game up before you jump into cybersecurity, right? So yeah, do that. Then, like I said, check those two guys out. Those are my two top of my recommendations, and I follow both of those guys very, very heavily. Then two is my email is ProfessorBlackOps@gmail.com. Just reach out to me. Master IT's there. Check him out. He's got a website with his courses on there. So definitely check him out. Tech G, check him out. For me, those are the two guys I go with. And just go with who you check them both out. And like I said, I would do them both. Master IT's got a little charge. Tech G's more free to get started on YouTube. So like I said, I would just do them both and just get all the knowledge you can. And I'm gonna be here for you, Brother Michael. You can always shoot me an email and we can chop it up. And two is if you get stuck, like I said, Master IT, like I said, I checked out some of this stuff, excellent content. Tech G, excellent content. Those two guys will definitely get you started in the game. And I'm here to help you. Engineering cannabis help you. He does more machine learning. I'm a little cybersecurity. We're gonna touch on some cybersecurity stuff in a minute, but yeah, Brother Michael, get it. And two is never feel alone, never feel stuck. Don't imposter syndrome. Don't feel none of that. I've been in the game for 30 plus years, and some days I struggle too, man. It's a lot of brothers, a lot of people out here gonna help you, man. We want to make sure you get this bag. That's the young guys' term. Trying to get this bag, trying to get this money. And the cool is get the foundation and your skills. Man, I've been doing IT for 30 years, man. That's why I'm fat. I eat good on it, Brother Michael. So we want to welcome you to IT. What's up, Wally, man? Salute, glad you can make it. So get back on the little Tesla bot. The two-part of Tesla bot too is at the top is red is things it thinks are danger as it's going into traffic, right? It's saying these cars are in red. I need to stay in my lane. These lanes are green. These lanes are questionable, right? Two is they have their own data center. So that information is feeding up to a data center, right? Because if something happens and it's wrecked, you have that information for the next car, right? So, which is good and bad. Like if I die, you get a record of it, and then the next guy won't die, right? But no. So anything happen, any wreck, or even positive things, it gets loaded up into their machine learning database, right? And gets fed in for the data for it to make better decisions for next time. So if you on snow and you slide a little further than you think for the weight, of the car, right? All that data is going to be in there, right? So you can make um, decisions on that data, right? So that's the cool things about Tesla. Okay, let's see. Let me get on these. Okay, newcomer. So I think we got that. Newcomer. Yep. This is Mr. Deep Learning Reinforcement called Deep Reinforcement Learning Architecture 6. Facts. So that's more engineering cannabis. So I need engineering cannabis chiming in, man. I need that. So shout out to him. So yeah, so like you said, deep learning, reinforcement learning, deep reinforcements, the collecting that data, trillions of data points, on everything. So that's the cool thing about it. A plus security plus a good start. That's the best start. Yeah, brother Michael, my man Master T said he can assist if need to be, so I will reach out to him. Like I said, I love people connecting on my channel. And Master IT, you're not stepping on my toes, man. Get your bid in there, man. this is free systems, and I trust you. I like what you're doing. And also, Michael, reach out to my man Master IT, man. He here to assist you, and he's pitching you, man. Like I said, go check out his courses. Great brother. I'm sure he can connect with you and give you a little one-on-one for a brief second, and I recommend it, man, because I want to make sure you get the best help you can get, right? Okay, shout out to JM. Do you think car insurance prices will go up for self-driving cars? But actually, it's the other way around. If you go through my videos, I actually did one on the autonomous trucks, and I was surprised. Insurance companies are really scared because it goes from individual insurance, because we're unique drivers, to product insurance. So autonomous driving as a product, and I got my man engineering cannabis, AI and me. I don't know who he is. He'll tell you is product insurance is going to be cheaper because they understand the product. They got data points on it. They understand the mistakes it's going to make as a product. So car insurance is expensive because Professor BlackOps getting old. My reflexes ain't what it is. I be squinting in the rain, JM. I can't see anymore, right? So that makes it sure. As a product, the AIs don't need to squint. The AI don't need glasses. The AI reflexes is never going to get slower. So I actually look up, I think it was Deloitte or PricewaterhouseCoopers. They did one on autonomous insurance. The insurance industry's getting nervous because they said it's going to drop by 60% when you go to autonomous, because it understands and can predict certainty, pretty much how many people are going to die, how many people are going to wreck. They can predict a lot easier the amount of fatalities with autonomous driving than individual people. Because once again, like Professor BlackOps needs glasses. My knees are hurting in the cold now, JM. So my reflexes ain't what it is. So now, to be honest, the insurance is going to drop down cheaper. When Lyft and Uber go autonomous, instead of an $18 driver is going to be $2 or $4, because the insurance of the driver and the FTE in the process of driver is 70% of the cost. So once you get rid of the driver, people think like iRobot. People don't think people are going to be driving anymore because the cost of Uber is going to be so cheap. Unless you're going out of town, it's going to be like $1 or $2 to drive. It's going to cost you to get an Uber what you pay for gas. So yeah, let me know if you want any more detail on that, JM. Like I said, I was surprised when I did a research on that for another video I had. What's up, NC worker? Not to go TT, but that's why minorities have to get in these rooms so everyone value equally in the software. Oh, you're 100%. Yeah, because and me and engineering facial recognition wasn't recognizing black people because they didn't get tested. They wasn't in the room. They didn't get tested, as far as facial recognition. So yeah, too, is like when you start talking about felons and putting numbers on people's lives, right? We got to make sure we get valued properly in that room, right? And I'm pretty sure engineering cannabis brought that up. I said, I never thought about that, because the computation of neural networks while you moving and driving, right? Then it can do facial recognition, pull up your record and like a credit score. You're a felon, so your life is worth X. You're 80, your life is worth X, right? You're from this, your life is worth X, right? I don't think we got there, but I think we're gonna get there pretty quick, right? When you talk about big thinking, big movement, and big ideas, right? So that's one thing I said I was gonna do in 2022, right? Let's think a little bigger. Let's think a little differently. Like, let's think big society things, and that's one of them, right? And two is, and I promise you, I used to work at a Fortune 500 insurance company. When you take out a life insurance, they're putting a value on your life. That's why they ask you, do you smoke? What's your hereditary background? Did your parents have heart attacks, heart failures, and high diabetes? Because they're putting all that into an algorithm to figure out what you need to pay for life insurance. So this is nothing new, right? We just gonna do it while we driving and while we moving, but then putting a value on your life. Like I said, I used to work at Conseco. It's a huge insurance company. I used to do data warehousing. We used to put tons of data points to value people's lives, right? So that's nothing new. Nothing new. Your place in a car measure your life against $100 million car education. But facts. So once again, Tesla bot, it's using all those things we just looked at. It's built into the Tesla bot while it's walking, right? It's trying to figure out pluses and minuses. That stuff's coming for them, right? It's doing an algorithm. It's doing all that at real time for the bot, right? So all that's built into the Tesla bot, aka Optimus, right? But the question is, will it become sentient and take everybody out, right? with the Terminator, right? I don't think so, right? But that is a problem that some people think about, right? And two is though, if we put the wrong value on your life, now is that algorithm the Terminator, right? Is that taking people out unnecessarily and recklessly, right? I appreciate that support, brother Michael. The 9.99 super chat. Let's see. Salute Wally. Car insurance will just engineering cannabis. Car insurance will reduce because we can improve on the algorithm. Casualties will reduce and accidents is said also reduce. So now all the world condition will be predictive. Right. But two is like you said, now that if the car knows it's raining from a robot, right, it can give you a margin of safety between cars. Where sometimes as humans, we don't do that. We don't care. Right. Oh, lady, speed up when it's snow. Right. So the road conditions, right, is the predictor, but the car can put in margins of safety. Okay, it's raining. I need to back up an extra 5 feet. Right. It's snowing. I need to actually back up 20 feet. Right. We know each autonomous car is going to do that because that's built into the product, right? So we know what that's going to cost us. As a person, we don't know what that will do, right? So, okay, I appreciate it. So is the algorithm the new Terminator if we do it wrong, right? But shout out to engineering cannabis. Hopefully, we get that algorithm on the blockchain. It will be open to public review. We can get our experts, aka AI and me, engineering cannabis, and more people to look at the algorithm to make sure the algorithm is fair and equitable for all people in the United States, right? So that's something, we need to push when they talk about algorithms. I appreciate you, Master IT. Thanks for the super chat. Just wanted to thank you for being a wealth of knowledge and taking your time and giving up so much to the game. No one's told you like you appreciate it. I appreciate that, Master IT. Thanks, man. Super appreciate that. So yeah, so the algorithm once again is the Terminator. We just got to make sure we are reviewing those algorithms. And once again, shout out to Engineering Cannabis. He brought that up. He's actually the SME in the AI machine learning robotics. So I want to, as they say, I want to give my man Engineering Cannabis his flowers while he's here and in the chat. He's adding a lot to the game. And cool is, and that's one thing the pros and the cons of being IT is I've been doing this for 30 plus years, man. I make good money, but I gotta learn too, man. The technology stops for no one, right? You got to get it, right? You got to get it. So engineering kind of been, especially on that artificial and machine learning, right? I did artificial intelligence in 1990 as part of my undergraduate degree, but what's that, 30, oh my God, 20 years ago, 30, yeah, 20, 30 years ago, right? That's the last time I really dug into Prolog and done artificial intelligence. So I understand it from a theoretical standpoint, but he actually does it in real life, right? So that's why I'm always appreciative when he comes in my show. No, it will not be on the blockchain Tesla many more with facts, yeah, 100%. You're 100% right. So uh, engineering camps. No, it'll now be on a blockchain Tesla anymore. Fight because for them that's intellectual property, right? That's how they make their money, right? Those things are proprietary to them, right? But hopefully, engineering cannabis, just the part where they're talking about value life, will be something Congress will mandate is I won't say open source, but everybody uses this for that particular formula. Now, the rest of the stuff, how you predict snow and sliding and friction from rain coming down, right? That's proprietary. But when you talk about calculating life and if the car is going to miss you or swerve, engineering cannabis, I hope that comes from Congress and that box of it will be outsourced and we could review that. So, but you're right. I'm sure they're going to fight that. They're going to say it's all proprietary. But I know Congress is itching at the bit to put some regulation on it. Um, so if you remember my man iRobot and Sonny, there was a computer that controlled all the other robots, really, but Sonny, right? So it's Tesla, Vicky, because it's going to control all the Optimus, right? That's their project name for the Tesla bot is Optimus. So it's Tesla, the Vicky of this, that's going to control all the Optimists, right? That could get all the robots to attack us, right? So that's it. So then two is, do we trust Elon Musk like that? Do we trust Congress? Right. So those are the things we have to think about as in society, right? How that moves and how do we get that right? So I'm comparing the Optimus to Sonny from our robot. Now we're going to delve into cybersecurity features of this robot, right? So when you're talking to the robot and the robot's listening, right? If the robot's sitting at your house and you're talking around the robot, right? Is the robot hearing your password? Is the robot, as you take your fob to unlock your alarm, right? That's a frequency. If Optimus slash Sunny hears that and replays it back, would that open up your garage door, unlock your alarm, and let the bad guy in from a hacking standpoint? Right. So those are the threat modeling attacks we're walking through with the robot that are threats to you and your family in your house, right? From Sunny. So that's what we're going to step through. Congress have figured how to share stimulus. They're not going to figure out AI, but not how to figure out. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Like you said, we can barely do stimulus. How we going to do AI? So no, I feel you, right? So from a cybersecurity perspective, once again, if you're talking to the robot and it's listening to you and you're doing a key fob, opening your car door, opening up your alarm with frequency, if it hears it and replays it, that's an easy replay attack, right? If you're in the cybersecurity, catching somebody packets on the internet and replaying them, right? Is this the future replay attack to open up your house, right? And that will be the attack, right? From a cybersecurity perspective. Congress is behind. We see what's happening. What is the DOD experimenting with? Drones or a small step? Facts. I can explain that part if you drop a link on how robots work. Yeah, I can definitely drop the link. So that's one of the attack vectors. Two is, if you remember Sunny had extra thick skin, right? So it could handle special attacks, right? So if I need to open up your safe, even though Elon Musk said it's only at a certain strength as a certain weight, right? Can I just rip your safe open? Or can I hear the other slide? You opening your safe with your clicks. Then from the clicks, I know what numbers is on. Then I can use that to open up your safe and get into your house, right? So those are a number of, like I said, different ways to attacking a robot, or if they hack the robot, how they get in. What's up, engineering cannabis?
Hey, what's up, Prof?
What's up? Glad you could come up, man.
Hey,
I'm in your
yeah,
area today, man. I was gonna do my since Elon Musk said they switching over to the Tesla bot. I was like, let me do a little cyber shit class.
yeah. But the problem is the way he's going to improve it. Remember, he has the Neuralink.
Facts, facts, facts.
So the way he's going to improve how that robot basically acts like a human is to impute that Neuralink into his brain, into the robot's brain. Now it's going to act and think like a human. So he's going to join two technologies: the Neuralink
Mm-hmm.
and the new basically chip, and those two will act together and basically make it more humanoid. And that's what I know he's gonna. That's the play he's going. And again, what the robot's gonna do. It's not just gonna learn from data. It's gonna learn from the environment.
Facts, facts.
So as he interacts with his the person who buys him, the person he or her, he's gonna interact and learn from what he or she needs. So
Oh, fuck.
if he or she needs basically healthcare or health services, he's gonna learn on what the individual needs at that point, and from there basically learn from it. So that's what he or she's gonna basically the robot's gonna do
Oh, facts,
itself.
facts. I got some slides coming up with that. You're right. So yeah, but the first incarnation, the two, even with all that, neural nets is gonna be learning is if you hack the robot too, what threats are the robots, gonna have if you hack the robot, right? From that, because it's a form factor, it's a computer form factor, much smarter, but right, it still can be hacked and taken over or taken advantage of. So
That risk is gonna be there. It's even in the
yeah.
automotive vehicle, it's always gonna
Oh,
be there.
facts, facts. So
But
that's
the
the
goal,
part.
yeah, the goal would
Yeah.
be try to prevent that.
Oh, facts, facts, facts. So yeah, I'm just touching on some points now that if you hack the robot and it's in your house, right? What issues could you have then? Like you said, I'm at the end, I'm talking about I think the first thing of that, and we can talk a little bit about that later, is nursing home and healthcare, right? Because if you fall, you just want the robot to help you get up. When you're older, you're not hurt, you just embarrassed. You just need a little help getting up and going to the bathroom. That's a
But
perfect thing for a robot.
you know the messed up part? You know
Yeah.
that there was this company that if you fall, you're gonna press a button and the ambulance gonna come. Remember that? What's the
Yeah,
name of
I
that
remember.
company is gone then at that point.
But oh
What?
yeah, that big guy. And the cool thing, and we're gonna talk a little bit about that too, is part of the robot. I got the high blood pressure cuff. I could put the
Yeah,
robot could check your blood pressure,
telehealth.
touch your heart, look at
That
your dilate. So
that's gonna be the next telehealth
right,
system.
right, right.
So
It'll be
that
all in the robot. The
so
basic stuff.
doctors you don't even need to go to the doctor.
Facts,
Once
facts.
the doctor relays the information, it's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna get a drug from the pharmacy. Then the robot starts basically behaving
Facts,
like the doctor and the
facts,
nurse and treating
facts,
you. And basically we're gonna relay that information. So this is where
facts.
it's shifting to.
Yeah.
And the funny part is Elon Musk hired the best in AI just
Oh
to
yeah.
teach him.
Oh yeah.
He
Yes, he did.
hired all the professors, all that, just to teach him about AI, and became a subject matter expert. And I'm trying to make sure brothers go into this to knowing you
Oh,
can also read and get that knowledge and still make money at the same time and still be in the cutting edge of technology. Because again, this is moving too fast for everybody.
oh, that.
I'm every day I'm seeing new research papers on the architecture, on the new sensors, on every. It's moving quick, 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 and everybody's innovating. But again, for instance, the automated vehicle now, once once it comes out, now all the mechanics are now more specialized and more
Wow.
technical. All the people going to be towing the cars that have to be more technical because
Facts.
they have to program the automated vehicle to know, okay, you have to basically, I have to take control of the car because now I have to go tow your car. Now you have to be more technical just to tow a car.
Oh, facts, facts.
So
Yeah.
this is where it's going, and we need to be more technical in knowing how to deal with all this.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. That's my channel, your channel. We're trying to get my heads up, trying to get my heads up. Like you said, it's moving at like it's past lightning speed, right? It's just so much out there, with the tech, the chips, and the clouds giving you, like you said, the architecture. You need to learn what's doing behind it, but they're giving you pieces to jump in and learn and get started. So it's just so much in there.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to then basically be do. We have to basically start keeping up. Cybersecurity,
But
AI,
machine learning.
everything is going to be sensors. We have to basically be in every aspect because again, what happened in facial recognition could happen in here,
Oh, and
and
it's
it's
gonna
going
happen.
yeah.
We got to stay on it. So yeah. So no, brother Mike, you're right. It was life alert. You don't need life alert anymore. The robot's gonna tell you everything right now. And the
See, that's the
robots.
problem.
Go ahead.
All the companies now with outdated technology will now have to drop off because
Right.
it's just one technology.
Right.
All I'm seeing a lot of businesses that's going to have to drop off, and some of the businesses are run by brothers.
Right.
Insurance game now is going to be highly technical.
Yep.
The insurance game is no more, hey, just run it. Insurance is going to be an algorithm.
Yep.
An algorithm is going to be doing insurance.
Right.
Any of your menial tasks right now, you do. If you're a mechanic, I always tell mechanics go learn how to be a tech guy because now the tech is going to be more involved in the cars.
Yep.
Even your basic washing and drying is going to be more technical because now it's going to be an IoT that's going to be learning a machine learning. It's going to be an algorithm that says, okay, she washes every Sunday, and he or she washes the clothes every Sunday. So I'm going to expect a load coming on Sunday. She doesn't even need to touch it. She just needs to place her clothes on the ground, and a robot picks it up and go put it in the washing machine.
Right. Knows what your settings
It
are.
knows what
This
you're
is
saying.
still. Yeah.
Your fridge is going to be doing shopping for you. Your fridge empty, you run out of apple juice for your kids. It signals the shop in Amazon. Look, we ain't got apple juice in the fridge. We need you to go get apple juice. You don't even need to step out the door. You
Right.
got the apple juice in your fridge.
Right. Yep.
This is where it's going to. And even the repairing of those is going to be difficult because now you're dealing with signals, you're dealing with machine learning, you're dealing with algorithms. You're not just dealing with a part, you're dealing with programming. So now it's more technical. Now your has to be improved just by repairing refrigerators, repairing washing machines. This is where it's going.
No, that's true. That's true. Like I said, we getting there. We getting there. So the other part of the Tesla bot, like if you hack the bot, right, the bot could actually hold you hostage, right? Because the bot is moving now. Like engineering cannabis, hopefully we're gonna have safeguards and stuff to protect it. But since the bot's in your house, the bot knows where all your firearms is because it's watching you where you move. So if somebody hacks the bot, they can hold you hostage, right? Then the
Yeah,
bot could
and
run away, right?
and the first thing I'm sure Elon Musk is doing, he's already doing insurance. Like,
Oh, definitely.
what's the insurance I'm gonna have in case this acts out?
Right, 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 right.
So these are the insurance where it's gonna be difficult. So insurance gonna come out. If something happens, is am I insured? Is the money just gonna pay off the family off and all that?
Right, right.
So your life now is again black folks, our folks. The question is when Elon Musk is doing it, his algorithm, are they gonna take him? Is your life gonna be worth that much in his algorithm?
Facts.
Is your life if your life if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're working, you're trying to hustle for your family, and is your life gonna be worth the price of his algorithm? Is his algorithm gonna take your life as being important, or is your
Right,
life just gonna be something that is gonna be thrown away? And
right.
again, this might be dystopia, but I'm thinking like this and if I'm thinking like this, there are a lot of people thinking like this
Oh, facts, facts, facts. So that's
because
like you said.
again, it's again the goal is risk. What
Right,
kind of risk am I going to take putting this vehicle in the road,
right,
and
right.
who at the end is going to be affected by this risk?
Right. And two is the thing too is like he brought up is it can predict a lot easier because it's our product insurance and the variable stables and they know kind of what it is. They're gonna predict 100 people gonna die, 1,000 people gonna be hurt, 40 cars are gonna flip. So it's easy for them to put a dollar amount on their risk because it's easier to predict.
And the
Right.
funny thing, they already know the autonomous vehicles already knows the pathway is going to follow. So from here to
Right.
Chicago, I already know where I'm going to follow. So
Right.
they already know if I follow these people with this low wage workers are living here, and this is where it is. And in case my truck crashes into this low low income neighborhood, I already got insurance to cover everybody in that low income neighborhood.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They've done
easy.
risk assessment on that. They
Yeah.
just looked at all the pathways and said, we're not going to go into a rich, infested neighborhood because if we crash our car, we're going to pay beyond what we can go. But we're going to plot our path to low income neighborhoods. So if anything happens, we can pay them off. And that's what the railway. That's why if you look at railways, they
Mm-hmm.
had that blueprint. You don't see railways in rich neighborhoods. You see railways in low income infested neighborhoods. It's the
No, that's
same
true.
thing. It's going to be the same process.
No, that's true. Let's see, brother Michael. So that's why I'm here. I'm a mechanic, and a customer asked me, "Do I repair them?" I was lost. Not fact. So, like you said, the technology in cars, like engineering candidates, just be getting so advanced, right? That the level of trying to repair a car, it's to me, it's going to end up computer. You don't very rarely you don't solder computer chips on computers anymore. We did that in the '80s because a board cost so much. Now motherboard is $25, and the chips. If you can get the chip out and put on another motherboard, you don't solder chips anymore. You throw away the computer, right?
And
So,
and you know what? Something came out like 2 weeks ago. A new algorithm has beat the best software engineer. The new algorithm can beat that person. The
yeah,
algorithm can now do more than a software engineer can do.
yeah.
And it came out last week. It's called In DeepMind from
Okay.
Google. They've created an algorithm that can basically do more software engineering than a software engineer can do.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be like you said, that's gonna be a low wage job because like you said, the computer gonna do most of it, and you just gonna tack them together, right? If you need an AR system or a payroll system, you just call the payroll module and send it your data, and it'll give you your income statement, balance sheet, right? So like you said, all that's pre-done now. You just
Yeah,
buy less, you just
all
buy the
that's gone.
service on that and
Yeah,
calls it, bro.
all that is gone. The
Yeah.
only thing now is I always say cybersecurity can never be protection can never. I don't think you can automate that to the fullest.
No, no, but
Protection because humans are the one thinking about how to hack it.
facts,
So
facts.
now the human is gonna have to find a way to beat that same human. So a human is always going to be needed in cybersecurity and AI
Yeah.
in certain fields. But again, we need brothers to do it. I don't want to call when I want someone to tow the Tesla, and now I'm not seeing. I'm seeing only four white guys helping me tow the Tesla. Then I'm two
Facts,
brothers.
facts,
So
facts,
that's what I want to see.
facts. So, like we talked about, the if you hack the bot, it can hold you hostage. But two is, I think Elon Musk and your robot, you will have a safe word. You said a safe word, and the robot is shut down, right? So, I'm sure they're gonna have cybersecurity, fail safes inside the robot too to help a lot of that too. So, and two on there, right? Do you want to fight the Tesla robot, right? Be or a Tesla run, right? But that's if somebody took over the robot, right? It could be aggressive. But once again, Elon Musk said the robot only runs 5 miles an hour and it's not very strong. For that reason, he didn't want it to become Terminator, right? Elon Musk was thinking about that as part of when he did his robot Optimus, right? So that you know, the likelihood of that. Then two, once again, if the robot attacks you and y'all both face off, right, that's a hopefully cybersecurity thing. You make a decision. He's got a gun, so theoretically you can make. But theoretically, hopefully you will have a safe word. Like when you lose your password, right? You get three things. It'll ask you a password, and if you know the password, it'll unlock the robot. Hopefully it'll be the same thing here. You give it a safe word, you can unlock it and get it to shut down, right? So that's
Yeah,
hopefully the cybersecurity password. Jump on
five,
in there, engineering cameras.
5 miles per hour. I think
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Tesla, that's going to be Tesla. But remember, they got other companies like Boston
Oh,
Dynamics.
facts, facts, facts. They're
Boston
robot.
Dynamics,
Hmm.
their robot is fast and mean.
No, it is. It is. The thing is, they haven't figured out how to make money with it because I think they sold it to Google for a while. It got sold a couple times. So,
Yeah, it got sold, but again, Boston
it,
Dynamics is going to be here for a while.
oh yeah, that robot's doing. I remember it's barely walking. Now it's flipping and swinging like Tarzan. It's doing a lot of different stuff. So from an army's perspective, on there, if you get a bunch of them right now, you got an army of those. Right now, you got military issues you can use and army issues because military always pays a lot of money, right? So it usually kind of somehow slides into that because the government has a lot of money. What's up, Adrian Nash, right? So if you get a lot of optimists, right? So what would that look like, us versus them? Well, hopefully, once again, there'd be a safe word that Optimus from Tesla can do to shut down all the robots and make that happen. Right? So then, like he was just saying, from a healthcare perspective, right? Tesla bots. This is actually one already out there. I think it's in Japan where it lifts people, it helps people to the bathroom. And like I said, when my mom was in the nursing home, right? The thing is just going to the bathroom if you slip and fall. If you had a robot to help them, that'd take probably 30 or 40% of the CNA's not job away. They can focus on bigger things to help the patient, right? Because when you go in a nursing home at night, all the red lights would be on. I'm like, what's going on here? So I think one of the applications for the Tesla bot, I think too, and if you're at home, right, you want to stay at home, your robot from a healthcare perspective, help you to the bathroom, help you up the steps, lift you up in the bed. Um, it could actually take your vitals, right? Now making decisions, take your vitals and send them to your healthcare provider, right? So if you're worried about somebody, the robot could take the vital, send it to her. Then the healthcare provider can say if you need to come to the hospital, go to the emergency room, right? You don't have to guess, right?
Yeah,
So
that's telehealth for you. That's the new
facts,
telehealth system.
right? So I
It's,
think the Tesla pod would be a good fit there from the basics of telehealth, right?
yeah,
Especially if you want to stay at home. Like I said, just helping you to the bathroom, helping you up the steps, making sure you get in the bed, to helping because it's gonna keep track of you didn't take your pills, you forgot. You getting old, Professor Black Ops. Take these pills. Here's your pills. Even though you got them in a little box, sometimes you forget, right?
yeah.
The
So
the
every
rope,
doctor visit is going to be directly.
right?
So an image might occur, and then maybe your TV. You and the doctors will be talking about.
Facts.
Then relay the information to your robot, and the robot then takes care of you. It's going to be the new telehealth, and all your vitals and signs again can be taken by the robot.
Facts.
So
Facts.
this is going to be the new telehealth system, and we are going to basically see improvement. Most likely, hospitals will now be smaller. We're not going to have a
Oh,
huge hospital with 50 doctors. Small hospitals that run emergency surgeries, all that. Even surgery right now we perform with robotics. So
yep.
again, these are the things that's going to become in play, and these are way we're going to basically see big data, robotics, AI, machine learning come into the play of healthcare system. Because right now, healthcare needs a lot of improvements
Facts.
and a lot of help, especially within telehealth, within robotics. Because again, we are lacking a lot of basically professionals. We don't have enough professionals, medical professionals in the healthcare field. So robotics will be helping aid in terms of AI and the rest of it.
Right, and that's one reason I think it's gonna be first is hospitals are already their hospital bills are already big now. So adding a robot is not a big ticket item for a hospital, right? Because they're used to machines that cost hundreds and
Yeah,
millions of dollars. So a robot that costs that for a hospital start, I don't think it's
you're
not a
gonna
big
see
sticker
you're gonna
shock for.
see a nurse working with a robot, and as the robot as basically like as the nurse is going, the robot is learning from the nurse
Mm-hmm.
to the point where it becomes its own expertise. It owns its own expertise. Then now it can act like a nurse. The empathy part will not be able to. The empathy part might not be able to understand with the robot,
Facts.
but the day-to-day task, lifting him up, lifting a,
Uh,
a patient up, making sure he takes his drugs, reducing the risk. Again, there's a huge problem in the hospital with people medication misdiagnosis or putting medication in wrongly into a human, or all these mistakes will then reduce because of the robots. Because there's a
Facts.
lot of mistakes being happening in the hospital
Mm-hmm.
with maybe medication, maybe overdose or a
Mm-hmm.
medication or something. But again, these robots will then start reducing that risk. And now the nurses will now be focused, instead of focusing on issues with drugs and all that, now the nurses will focus on empathy,
Thanks.
human interaction. How are you feeling today? You good? Is it
Mm-hmm.
everything? Then the robot does the task, the day-to-day task, monitoring, bed schedule, lifting, all that heavy tasks. While the human is then, okay, I'm here for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. But again, is that a risk? Because again, would that reduce the nurse's money? Would that, or
Um,
would that
I-
also improve the nurse's money? Which that's where me I'm coming into.
facts,
With
facts,
that,
facts.
because right now you're offloading a huge task to the
Mhm.
robot, and
I
now the
think
nurses will now act more empathy, read
right.
more.
I don't think their money would be reduced. I think you would need less nurses though. So I think you would need, especially as a nurse, to go with the empathy. But like you said, those mundane jobs were gonna be done. A lot of times the
Mm.
mundane jobs take up most of your time
And
too.
the second question is: are the nurses going to have to be technical? Will the nurses now have
Mm,
to go? Are the nurses going to say, "Okay, this robot is acting funny. Can I check its diagnostics on it?" Will the nurses now have to be technical? Because
that's a
now
good
we're dealing
question.
with a highly
Mm,
technical equipment with a nurse
also,
that follows your day-to-day basis, that does to it. So would a nurse have to be technical, or do they have to be a technical specialist on their 24/7?
that's a good question. I would think I don't know. I'm thinking that's technical. So specialists I'm sure hospital they got a third shift networking team. So that
Yeah,
especially would fall on IT network. Now I'm not saying the net, but I'm saying that shift maybe. I don't know. I got to think about that engineering. I got to think
this
about
is the stuff I'm thinking. I'm like,
that.
okay, how is
Yeah.
this
What
going to
you
work? How
right?
is
Right.
this going to work? Even with mechanics, with everybody, how is this going to play out?
Facts.
How are they going, even with introduction of it, are you going to see nurses striking against this? Are you going to see doctors saying, okay, I'm not feeling this robot because he's not feeling what I'm doing. He's too precise. The
Right.
robot is not fluid like a human.
Oh, facts, facts, facts. And we're gonna get to. Actually got a slide where the robot is assisting the doctor to make sure he's more precise. Right. So I got a slide coming up talking about that. But now, like you said, that's an interesting take. Real quick, I got a comment. It said McDonald's might use robots to flip burgers too, so they don't have to hire people. Yeah, that's coming, JM. Especially too, is people don't realize is when you force the minimum wage to go up, now the cost of the robot and the employees become a lot equal or close to each other when you first roll it out. So now times the businesses say, I'll go with the robot over the person flipping burgers. If you pay them a lot lower, it's like, okay, this robot is 10 times more expensive than a person. Now with the entry level salaries going up to 20, 25, now the robot and the employees are a lot closer. So I think you're going to see a lot of restaurants going to robots and delivery robots and all that coming in the future. What's your thoughts on that, engineer?
The question is, okay, yeah, robots coming, but are they going to make that food spicy or sweet like that? How is my food going to taste?
I
Is it
think you
going to
can
be
push the
bland?
button, man.
Remember, it's the data. The way the robot acts is what you feed the data. You feed it.
Right, right,
So
right, right.
if the data is being fed by a chef that don't know how to cook and
Right.
always cook that bland chicken,
Right
am
now.
I, am I going to get that bland chicken? No spice. Yeah, I like my 12 spices on my chicken.
No, I feel you. Well, I'm
So
hoping they got the 12 spices. He just flipping the chicken and moving the chicken and taking the chicken out the oven. But that's a good question. That's a good question.
I like my 12 spices. So the question is the task of the robot, is it
Right.
just to complete cooking? Because again, you still culinary art is an art.
Facts,
It's
facts,
not it's not it's not a whole science, it's an art.
facts, facts.
Again, art is an art. Like making paintings and sculptures, those are art. Cooking is an art. So again, do I really want to? Again, I'm an AI guy. So do I really want an AI to cook my food, or do I really want someone who's mastered not only cooking but the smell of cooking,
Right.
know how
Yes.
to smell a good food, the taste of
Hey,
good food?
you the AI. The smell is just calculations of how many spices in the air, man. We can calculate
Yeah,
that.
you can calculate all that,
We
but
can
again,
calculate. Yeah.
you can calculate it. But when you eat it, and one of the spices is too salty, you gonna be like, man, you killed this chicken wrong.
Right, but now, but you that's part of the A, right? We got to get that. We got to get them get that right.
But that's the problem. We want, again, culinary art is an art. We want good
Facts,
food. We,
facts, facts.
we, the whole system is just designed. If I'm going to design an AI system, I'm just going to design it to make sure it's healthy. Make sure it has the
Right,
proportion of salt, proportion of fat, proportion of everything. But again, that ain't gonna make it sweet, because again, good food, I don't know that. Good food got a lot of oil in it. So
facts.
and they are gonna be cooking with small oil, a pinch of salt, a pinch of
No,
pepper.
that's true. Yeah,
No.
my mom didn't measure nothing, man. She just put her hands in there and pull it
You
out,
put it
pull
out.
it.
Okay, imagine Kool-Aid. How we used to make Kool-Aid.
Facts,
We use
facts.
the whole pack of, we use the whole sugar. Imagine an AI making sugar. He's gonna
No,
measure your blood level and say, okay,
no, facts.
this is
Professor
what your
Black,
blood sugar gonna handle.
fact.
We gonna give you
But
this.
yeah, Professor Blackops won't get no Kool-Aid, bro.
You drink your Kool-Aid like what's going on with
Oh,
this?
yeah,
So
yeah.
this is what it is. We have to. It's
That's
gonna
funny.
have to progress.
Yeah, let me flesh that out for everybody who's joking this. The cooking goes with the medical AI. If you're a medical, say you shouldn't get salt, the cooking robot's not going to give you salt because the AI robot said Professor Black Hot said bad health. He can't get no salt or no sugar, right? So
Yeah,
now
no salt, no sugar. He just gonna get bland food. I'm like, nah, no,
see
no.
that, and that's really the beauty of it at its core is now you get the totality of everything working together to make sure you at the best of health. Right now, Professor Black Ops gonna be shitty because his food gonna be playing, but he'll be getting skinnier and being much better health. Right. So when you put those together, that's working for theoretically your overall health. Right. So you
Yeah,
got to give a little, get a little. Right.
yeah,
So
your health will be the main objective of the AI,
right,
to
right.
keep
So
you alive and healthy. So if he's gonna have to cut off all the things you enjoy, now the question is, are you now living? Is what you is in food and all that? That's what you enjoy to live, and
right,
you enjoy it. But again, they've taken out the what you enjoy in it because they believe it's going to keep you alive. So
right,
now,
right.
even smoking,
Facts,
if you like smoking a Cuban every
facts,
now and then, and the robot says, "Man, you're not supposed to be smoking a Cuban,"
facts.
and you take your Cuban and you see your Cuban in the trash one day, you're like, "No." You
Facts,
can't,
facts.
all my Cuban cigars are in the trash because of what? And they already labeled that stuff wrong. So now this is what it's gonna be. Either are we gonna start making the robots AI gonna just make decisions solely based on what we need and what we think we need, or are we still gonna be in control of it? These are
Right,
why I want people to start going into this and start
right,
thinking about this, because now it's accelerating so fast
right.
that laws are not even able to catch up with what's going to go on right now.
No, that's true. Then if you look at the current slide, those are actually Kiva robots for Amazon, right? So in the old days, you put the stuff on the shelves, the pickers would get it, then the packers would pack it. Now they pack the shelves, and the shelves comes through the packers, and they put it in the box, right? So I don't need pickers; these shelves, and I can show a video. And two is they don't pack everything on the shelf the same. They know the algorithm of what you order together. So you order beer and peanuts, right? If it's hurricane coming, they know you're going to order plywood, hammers, and nails. So those type of things are going to be in the shelf. So when the shelf comes, it's going to have 80% of what that person ordered together by looking at the things that are. Then two is you see Amazon. it's gonna recommend stuff you should have ordered that you forgot about, right? So
That's the thing. That's going to be your house is all going to be automated. Everybody's using Siri right now in your house,
facts.
so your house is going to be fully automated. Like you said, if a snowstorm is coming, I'm going to have a predictive algorithm and say, hey, based on the data, these group of people like ordering bread and all that during the
Facts.
snowstorm. So I'm going to load the store with bread, egg, milk, and all that, knowing if they announce, hey, the snowstorm is coming, between 5 minutes, everybody buying bread, egg, and
Facts.
or like instance, the pandemic. If I have inside knowledge that hey, there's a virus coming, I'm gonna load up on tissue paper and all that. Knowing once I say there's gonna be a pandemic or something,
Facts.
everybody gonna rush out go buy tissue paper. This is what's going into.
Yep.
You all are now everybody's now on an algorithm where we can predict your choices based on your past data. We can predict where you want to go, where you're going to be, where you're going to visit, based on pattern recognition, based on your own, and go from there. And that's the problem. It's not a problem. Is humans are now so predictable and pattern recognized that
Facts.
now if I want to know if I put a grocery store near you, a gas station, a movie theater, and all that, I know within this radius you're not going to move away from that unless you
Facts.
have a job outside of it. And
Facts.
now I can predict what I can now do a lot with that to predict and do a lot, sell you stuff, e-commerce. This is what it is. It's messed up somehow, but this is how it's going to be. Now the question is, do we need to understand it better to know how to combat it, or do we just fold our arms and say, "Hey, this is life. This is how we going to be," and then we accept it, and then this is how poor folks and marginalized folks are basically driven from basically society itself.
Facts. Yeah, that's 100%. Like you said, we gotta kind of figure out where we fit in and what that looks like. So let's see. I'm moving around. So yeah, those are Kiva robots. If you look down in the orange, those are the robots, and it's gonna bring the shelves to the packers. I'm not needing pickers anymore. So when they stock the shelves, I don't need anybody to bring the packers the Kiva robots that look like big Rumba robots. It's gonna bring the shelves to the packers. So in the future, there are going to be no Packers probably in the next 20 years as they start rolling this out more and more. Amazon's got, I think they're on the third version of that Kiva robot. So they've been working the bugs out. And I know there's some here in the state I'm in. One of my guys work out in the Amazon warehouse. He said it's half filled with those robots. And they just kind of watch them bring the shelves to the Packers because they're working the bugs out, you know. And as it gets better, they're going to roll it out to more and more
And the messed up part,
fulfillment stuff.
they have their robots now in agriculture. They've already designed a
Yep.
robot that can pick fruits, oranges, all your fruits quickly, and like a human. And now the low tech agricultural work now is basically being now utilized by a robot. I'm just going to get a robot who's going to do all the job. The robot doesn't rest. The robot doesn't need insurance. The robot
Right.
doesn't need a day off. Just going
Right.
to be picking fruit from me for the rest of its life
Right. Sun up to sundown too until it right.
till it needs fuel or it
Right.
needs something. Then okay,
Recharge it, whatever.
charge it
Right.
and let it roll. And you're gonna be in bed while this robot's gonna be doing the job, sun up, sundown, till the whole place is basically picked up. And again, it's gonna continue doing this. And this is what it is. Agriculture is now gonna be a tech sector, a huge
Oh,
tech sector.
facts, like you said. Then on the screen we talked about it. This the Tesla semi that's autonomous. The Nikia semi is another one. Like you said, it's more than one company out there, right? So autonomous is coming. We talked a little bit about that when insurance companies and how they value insurance. And two, we were talking about putting value on people's lives with citizen like credit score, right? So the semi's coming. They're actually running down south, and that's going to be the I think the first autonomous vehicle because they're going to drive them up in the highway. We already know Google Maps is down to
They're,
the science, so it
they're already
knows how to
testing it
get
in
where it
New
need to
Mexico
go.
right now.
Yeah,
They're testing it in New Mexico right now. It's
facts.
running over New Mexico. So they're testing it right now. So it's
Yeah, if you look at True, I think it was True Some. They actually went public as an autonomous trucking company. They're down. I think they're in Texas and a couple other southern states. working it out. So, like you said, it's like 3 or 4 companies out there putting in those miles and
Yeah.
figuring it out.
And truckers now, and I always go to trucking channels because I always want to laugh a little bit. Because they say, no, this is not going to take over. I'm like, you all doing like you understand about AI. Like AI is not going to be able to do this. I'm like, AI is not a child that just stays in place.
Right.
AI learns from its mistakes. It's learning from your mistake. It's learning from its mistake. It's learning how to do the things you think you'll not be able to do. If you keep, that's one of the issues I'm having with trucking channels.
Oh
If
yeah.
you keep telling people that AI is not going to do it, when it happens, now we now have brothers who's going to be in AI trying to do these jobs or even trying to own their own trucking, because right now it's been taken over by white guys.
Right.
So now, if you keep telling black folks, "Hey, AI is not going to do anything," they're not, and one day now, a business owner who owns a towing truck is not a black man but a white guy who knows his technical background. Now you've made it obsolete for black people to go into this field because you keep telling them AI is not going to take over. But I'm seeing it. I'm
Oh,
looking at it. I'm dealing with it. I'm creating architecture for it. It's
fine.
going to happen. But the goal is we need to evolve in it. We keep telling people don't evolve. You keep telling it, but when it comes to you, you will be forced to evolve at this point.
No, I agree with that. And we're always a little late. We should try to be out in front of the wave, not behind it, getting drowned and ran over by the wave. So that's definitely true. So we talk about a little cloud technology, cloud security. The Tesla and Tesla bots, they got P7 on Azure and P7 on AWS, and they're actually building their own cloud center too. So I think Tesla, from their company, they want to control everything like you talked about. They don't want those algorithms getting out. So I think they're going to build their own customized, specialized data centers in the near future to do that, especially from a Tesla standpoint.
Yeah, all these companies are going to be interconnected. They go. I'm going to be honest with you. All these companies going to be making billions of dollars out of
Oh,
us.
fine.
We now, if you're the small guy like me, you want to make a couple of meals too. You're not looking at the billions. You're looking, okay, let me make a couple of millions,
Fine.
do some stuff. But because we're behind it, we're not going to see it. That's why I'm always pushing people get into this. It's going to take a lot of reading, but get into it.
Facts. So yeah, that was my slide deck, and I'm glad you came up, engineering chemist. Always glad when you joined the panel. But that was it at the outset. And I think engineering cannabis said we got to get out in front of it. We got to get guys into programming, into stats, into machine learning, and AI. It all kind of rolls up when you stack your skills on top of each other. Right? You don't learn it one day. You build your skills on top of each other. You take all those skills together. Then you master the machine learning, the artificial intelligence, augmented reality. All of that is there for the taking and for us to get, to be honest.
I'm going to say one thing right now because I've been going to companies and seeing it. The directors of AI, all of them, since I've seen all the directors of AI, are either Indian guys or white guys.
Facts.
There ain't no black guy seen no director. And I'm
No.
like, dude, really? What's going on in here?
Facts.
And I'm like, these are guys, young guys making big money. I'm like, really? He's the director of AI, and y'all play. And I'm like, no, man, this is messed up. We don't have any black guy, even in teams. There isn't any black guy in teams I've seen. Like, where are the black people in machine learning, deep learning that can? No,
There's not in cybersecurity. You talk about the team machine. There's very few in cybersecurity, man.
Don't you see how messed up it is? So every time I go, I'm like, he's the director of this. I'm saying, huh? Young Indian guy.
Yeah.
Where the black guy who does AI and machine learning?
Where's
the black guy?
You're the only one I know.
That's the messed up part. I'm the only one that black guy come in here and say it. If you see most channels, dealing with AI is either run by an Indian guy or a Chinese guy.
The one I was
And
doing
one
the
black,
research
you're
for
one other
testing.
black guy I know. There's only one other black guy. But again, I haven't seen anybody dealing in depth in AI, telling
No.
people this is where it is, this is where to go, this is how to and it's funny, but again, and with the same thing, and people telling people not to go in and all that, I'm like, oh man, we have trouble coming in, and we're not seeing it.
You see that question on the screen, engineer?
You need to know. You just need to know basic statistics.
Yeah.
Statistics. You don't need high level math. Basic
Right.
statistics, and you can learn. And they basically once you know basic statistics and little Python, you can be a machine learning engineer. And they will teach in an entry level. They pay you 130, 140,000, and teach you to become an expert. Just again, entry level because they don't have anybody. They are begging people. They will pay you 130,000, come in as an entry level machine learning engineer, and teach you, and you become a subject matter expert over a long period. And at that point, nobody you can write your own check. This is how this field is. But nobody's talking about this field. Everybody's talking. Don't get me wrong, cybersecurity is good,
They ain't
but
even talking about cybersecurity, man. We talking about who gonna bring somebody a plate and red pill and
no, that's the problem. All
Kevin
I've heard,
Samuel. Shout out to
Kevin
Godfather, but you
Kevin
know,
Samuel and Nicki Minaj. That's what I've been
you talk
hearing for
about
the.
yeah, you talk about cybersecurity, man. We ain't even getting to A+ yet, man. Come on, we
All I've
still
been
talk,
hearing is Nicki Minaj and Kevin
right.
Samuel.
Then it's so bad. I had to make my video on Cardi B and Tasha K, man, because I'm like, let me at least do the cybersecurity part because they talked about that for 2 months. So
That's all I'm hearing. Kevin Samuel, Nicki Minaj. I'm like,
right, man. So
are we really gonna get?
yes,
Are we really gonna get into
no,
cybersecurity, AI,
no.
all this tech
You
with
talk about
Kevin
like
Samuel and
yeah,
Nicki Minaj?
right. So I mean, granted, there's a little more cybersecurity than AI, but
Well,
we got way more Kevin Samuelson, all of it put together, man. Shout out to the Godfather.
I'm not mad at him, but I'm just
Right,
saying
fine, facts. I'm with you. I'm
right
with you.
now is it's not the time to focus on this stuff. The world is moving too fast to be focused on Kevin Samuels.
That's why we behind. That's why
Kevin Samuels,
black people.
Kevin Samuels is good, but again, his is good for entertainment, and there's a time for entertainment, and there's a
Right,
time to get real with your life.
facts,
We are
man.
playing right now. A lot of algorithms, a lot of people are dictating where our life is going,
Facts,
and we are still playing, talking about Kevin Samuels and Nicki Minaj over and over and over again.
That was the videos making all the money. I'm gonna have to make one in a minute. No, I'm
I'm
just
not
playing.
making no money. I'm like, okay, I'll rather. But again, if that's what's gonna make money, I'm gonna just say fuck it. I'm done with
Fine.
YouTube.
Yeah, I just do. Yeah, I just do my. What you think of that question in there? I don't know of any. I'm gonna let you get that one.
There isn't any. Again, I've been in this industry for 11 years. Anytime I go for an interview or anything, nobody ever asks me about a cert. They just start questioning me on my skills. What do I know about deep learning, convolutionary neural network, RNN, the algorithms? What do I know about machine learning, classification algorithms, linear algorithms, regression algorithms? What do I know about reinforcement learning, Markov's principle, deep
Mhm.
neural learning using Q learning? These are the stuff they ask me. Nobody has ever asked me what cert I've gotten. If they ask me, I'll tell them, "Are you joking?" And
Right,
once I say, "Are you joking?" they once they even see my resume, they
right,
don't even need to ask me questions. The first question they ask me is, "Are are we challenging it? You are we going to be challenging enough for you to basically work for us?" Nobody's going to ever, if you know your stuff, nobody's going to ask you about a cert. And I
right.
haven't seen a cert in data science and AI that exists. If there's a cert, they're just ripping you off.
Yeah, I've never heard of one of JM
Yeah.
for I've never heard of one for that. That's why I turned it over to him just in case. I've
No.
never seen one from him.
Right now, I'm seeing a lot of master's program in machine learning and all that, and I've flipped their books. They're not telling you stuff. What I'll tell you is learn basic statistics. I'm right now. I'm still even reading on statistics. I still read statistics every day. Learn basic statistics. Learn Excel. Apply to be a data analyst first. That pays 90 to 100,000. Then start growing your skill into machine learning. That pays 130, 140. Then start learning deep learning, reinforcement learning. That pays 240, 260. Then at that point, you can write your own check.
Facts,
Believe
facts,
me,
facts.
you can write your check.
Are you doing any videos coming up on that? I know you were thinking about getting
I'm
this channel
doing
started
videos
about.
of AI. I'm doing videos again. But again, I want to let this whole environment of Nicki Minaj and Kevin Samuels calm down. Because
Oh, that ain't gonna never calm down, man.
everybody's so
So
amped. It's amped like Gatorade.
it is. That ain't gonna never calm
I'm gonna
down, man.
Kevin Samuels is doing this. Nicki Minaj. I'm like, how much analysis are you gonna do?
Man, it's
You know, in depth.
hundreds.
I mean, do you know how in depth analysis you're gonna do with Nicki Minaj?
Man,
You can do an
boy.
in-depth analysis on Nicki Minaj, but you can't do an in-depth analysis on your profit margin or your income statement or how you're going to be in the next 2 years. But you can do an in-depth analysis on if Nicki Minaj basically made Kevin Samuels look stupid.
Oh, facts. I'm leaving that alone, man. I
I'm
just
like,
can't.
are you serious?
I'm just leaving that alone.
In-depth analysis.
They were on. It's hundreds of videos out there, man, in the black sector of YouTube. It's
I mean, I saw people making 4-hour hangout
facts.
on
Facts,
Nicki Minaj and Kevin Samuels, but they can't make a 30-minute hangout on how to improve your life in
man.
cybersecurity AI.
And
And
it'd
so
be 3,000 people in the
3,000
chat
people
box.
watching in chat, and I promise you, and that's 3,000 people. Most of them not going to be making like 25 to 50 grand.
Facts, man. Facts. So I'm just
So
doing
if
me,
I'm making
man.
25K, I know myself. If I was making 25K, I'm not going to listen to Kevin Samuels. I'm going to listen to someone who's going to make my money go up.
No facts, but I don't know. Like I said, I'll just stay out of engineering cannabis. I'm
I'm
just
staying
doing
out. I want to stay out of
it.
it, but 3,000 people.
Man, it's crazy.
We have how many people making 100K? We have that low. We have what they say 10 to 15% of people making 100K.
Yeah, total. Because I know only 8% of black guys make 100K, and
8%,
I think it was 7% of ladies, so 15% total.
50%, and we got a community of 3,000 people watching and probably making 25 to 50K and hustling. When you
Hustling.
can come in and learn quick statistics, Excel, and be making 90K in the next 3 4 months.
I'm sending them your way, man. I'm sending them your way. So that's why I tell them, kid, in cybersecurity, you can, get it back too. But
You can get it back in any tech field. Just sit
uh,
down, focus, and make. Man, I'm seeing Indian guys riding Teslas, BMWs,
oh,
riding
facts.
big flashy cars, and I'm like, where my black folks are?
Is why, because one of our divisions, I work at a large state agency. He's a cool guy, man. I'm cool. We hang out. He's Indian. His whole staff, damn near Indian, man.
They're opening, and I'm not against anybody. I'm just saying, everybody's opening. They know the tech is huge, and they're
Facts.
opening businesses in tech,
Facts.
cashing out, making money, and then we here doing what? Listen to Kevin Samuels and Nicki Minaj
Shout
doing
out to the
in-depth
Godfather.
analysis.
Shout out to
Doing,
the Godfather.
I mean, this no, I mean, then this is in-depth analysis. I mean,
No, I've been there.
yeah,
Yeah, I was puzzled. I was really puzzled when I saw that.
in-depth analysis. I'm like, are you serious? Are you doing in-depth analysis on this? Are
Man,
we? Is this where we're heading to?
I think Adrian Nash said that we gotta get our priorities straight, folks. Can we get our
And,
priorities straight,
and
folks?
people,
But
and people keep saying, "Oh, it is what it is." It's not is. It is not what it is because there are other groups of people making millions of dollars on us. Then the new package that came out, the new package Biden passed that gives money to
facts.
redevelop everywhere. Infrastructure package. How
Yep.
many people are talking about trying to get that money? I know 5 white guys building construction companies from scratch trying to get that money.
Facts. Facts. So if you looking on screen, keep going, Engineer Ken. That's the Kiva
I'm,
robots from for AWS. So
I'm tired, man. You don't get it. When I see this, I start feeling so bad. Like, what is going on? In-depth analysis on
I'm
Nicki
I'm
Minaj,
old.
and now it's now Pookie, Ray Ray, and all
Fine,
that.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I see me. I'm just old and jaded, man. I'm just doing my part. If I'm
What?
giving it to you, if you want to come and get it, I'm gonna
Who
give it. If
cares
not,
about Pookie Ray Ray and what's
well,
going on? This
so
money, if the money is green, Pookie's gonna get green money. Anybody's gonna get green money. Money is green. There's
facts.
opportunities. Stop playing
So that's the
this
Kiva robot
mind-numbing
from
games of analysis of Nicki Minaj, analysis of Pookie, analysis of men and women fighting. We are all losing right now.
facts.
There ain't no gender war. There's a wage war. There's an income war. There's a wealth war. There isn't a gender war. If you think, if every man in here, if every black man making 120, 150,000, ain't no, there is no woman going to be complaining that, hey, the man, no, there'll be, every woman will be like, okay, my husband making money. I'm just going to be what it is.
No facts, man. So
But we think there's a gender war. There is no gender war. There's a wage war.
facts,
There's a,
facts.
there's a wealth war. And we are losing. And there's a predictive analysis on how bad we're going to lose in a couple of years.
We supposed to be zero wealth in 2053
That's the
was in
problem.
fortune.
When
We
someone
supposed
tell you, when someone shows you your predictive analysis, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change that.
facts. We
If
making it worse. We
we're
talking
making
about
it worse, we're talking about Kevin Samuels, man.
so man. I saw man.
What? See, you know why I'm laughing? Because the man is making his money.
Oh, fact. He makes 100,000 a month.
He's
GMT thinks he
making his
makes
money. He's
100,000 a
helping.
month.
He's building his wealth. He's doing all that. And we are what? Doing what? The man is making his money. And
Oh, he
I'm not.
make a killing.
He's
Fact.
making a killing.
He make a
And
killing.
he went from 0 to 100 in a couple of months in last year, in a year or just a year.
Yep.
Instead of us to say, okay, he did this trajectory. He did. How did he do it? What did he do? How can we mimic it, but mimic it in a positive manner? But
Facts.
rather, we're doing analysis on his show, making him more money.
Facts is crazy. But
And I'm like, oh, we're in trouble.
we are in trouble.
If this is what is popular and this is what's going on, then we start seeing fights. Oh, he's talking about Pookie, and I'm like, I'm listening to this. After 2 hours, I'm like, I was reading my book and listening to this. I was like, I'm done. I saw a lot of people packing in. I just said, I'm done.
Yeah, like I said, I'm done talking about it, man. But yeah, I'm with you, man. We need to make a change, and you're trying to make a change, and I'm trying to make a change. A lot of people in the tech sector, but I'm happy if I get 25 people on my live. I'm excited.
Yeah, I get like 5, 10 people on lives and 20, 50 people watching the show. I'm like, and I see even when I go to channels that teach you about AI and machine learning, and I see like 40, 50,000 people, and this is a big channel. This is not a big channel, but it's supposed to have millions of people watching it.
Facts.
I'm seeing 50,000. I'm like, then if we transmit that to the black community, it's not going to be that much, man.
No.
You're going to have like 20 people watching your live and AI and all that. And that question, and the question is it worth it at that? People like Keep It Techie and all that, I love what they do. I love their hustle. But at one point, I start thinking, can I really carry what the white guys are doing and put it in the black sector and YouTube? Is it feasible? Is it progressive? Will people really draw to it? And the answer is no.
No, facts. No, you're right. I think about that. Cybersecurity is a little bigger, but not much bigger from a
Cybersecurity,
from a
but in
from a
AI,
domain perspective.
nobody's talking about it, but it's taking over our world, but nobody's talking about it.
Oh, facts.
And the funny
Right.
part is people who talk about it don't have knowledge about it.
Oh, 100%.
They keep talking about AI. I'm like, do you know what AI is? Do you really know what AI is?
No, no, no. That's the interesting and sad part about it. So I don't
Hey,
even know how to.
thanks, Professor Black Ops. I just had to get that out because
No, man, I'm glad you came up, man. I
I've been
appreciate
seeing a lot of bullshit happening, and I'm
it.
like, if this is what it is,
It is what it is, man.
I'm if
But
I can't get people in seeing what I'm seeing, if you see what I see, if you see what I see every day in companies, young guys making millions just doing basic statistics, learning about cryptography, learning about this, doing it and making millions, giving government contracts about just to write a program that anybody can write, just because they have credentials behind them. And I'm like, really? Is this where it is going? And black people ain't doing it. All I'm seeing are Indians, Chinese, and then
facts.
we start. Then the problem now, and the monster start building up. Like, hey, they're taking our jobs. But again, the jobs are always there. They've never left. The jobs have been available, but we
Facts.
refuse to study for it. We rather focus on analytics on Nicki Minaj.
Facts. Like you said, there's a 500,000 cybersecurity jobs out there to get you. And Google already told you they're gonna train 40 million people for the Google platform to try to catch up with AWS. That's the whole black population.
But analytics, but the question is, are we doing it? No. We rather focus on analytics on how Nicki Minaj moving.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone, man. I'm glad you came up, man. I'm
Hey,
just
I'll see you on the next one.
all
Thanks,
right,
man.
man. All right, I'll check it. Thanks everybody for joining me. We're gonna do class Sunday at 3. I think we're gonna do the AWS CI CD pipeline. Everybody knows I'm getting my AWS skills, so that's gonna be the development pipeline on AWS. Shout out to Engineering Cannabis. I'm sure we're gonna have some artificial intelligence in the pipeline to keep some hackers out and some other stuff. I'm gonna hang out to see if anybody has any more questions. Um, Once again, every now and then we're gonna do some big thinking on this channel, and I thought that was perfect. Right, we went from artificial intelligence to machine learning to how do we secure jobs. We actually talked about, are they going to do citizen scores on you, meaning if the truck's driving down the road, it does facial recognitions, figure out who you are. If you got a felony or criminal record, is it going to devalue your life, right? So if you jumped out instead of swerving, since your life score is low, it's going to hit you, right? Instead of endangering somebody else's life, right? So that's, I think, in the cards, and we're gonna, keep talking about that, keep drilling down into that too. Shout out to Casual Economist for joining us. So yeah, we like I said, I'm hanging out a little bit for a few more questions. I'm about to email you. Oh no, I need to make 1 million doing basic statistics. That's more engineering cannabis, not me. But yeah, shoot me an email. I'll read it. That's more engineering cannabis. But yeah, machine learning, artificial intelligence. Most of that starts off with basic statistics, right? And since I have an MBA, I used to do SAS and SPSS, and probably before y'all were born in the 2000s, those were the hot stat packages people used. I used to work at a Fortune 500 pharmaceutical company. Like I said, any more questions? Like I said, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Well, joining me. Like you said, I'm out here putting out videos. Like I said, just trying to push the game up. Mm, check us out on the replay, Casual Economist. If you didn't catch it all, you always ask great questions. Two is like I said, Elon Musk came out and basically talked about the end of 2021 fourth quarter, and they said the Tesla bot is actually their number one project, not the Tesla car, not the Tesla Cybertruck, not the Tesla semi. Right? Tesla's got a lot of. It said the Tesla bot. He believed will be the number one project for the Tesla company. So Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. Anybody got anything else for me? Let me make sure that's my email. Let's see. Shout out for the super chats. I really appreciate those. Like I said, just growing my channel, enjoying it, just trying to make it happen. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. I'm just double checking my email address and make sure I spelled it right. I'm sure I did. ProfessorBlackOps at Gmail. Yep. Yep. So, like I said, I'm about to wrap it up. I'm glad people, y'all should see me. Yeah, I'm about to watch the replay after this. So I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm about to just relax a little bit myself. ProfessorBlackOps at gmail.com. So yeah, that's it. So that's all I got. If you need me, just shoot me an email. Of course, I'll reply to them. A couple people said they emailed me and I didn't get it. Let me look in my I got a spam box? I don't think I got a spam box. I got a spam box. No. So that's just everybody have a great day. It's actually almost hump day. I'm winding down. I'm gonna go back and check my work, make sure nobody looking for me. They got my number if they need me. Once again, I thank everybody for coming out. I appreciate the super chats. Everybody has a nice night. You see my email there, just shoot me. It's actually just ProfessorBlackOps at gmail.com at the top. I went and cut it from actually Gmail to make sure I didn't misspell anything. So that's it. Once again, thanks for showing me. And two is if you got some topics, y'all can always shoot me an email. Talking about, I got a few I wrote down. We were talking about the getting side work to I forgot the term, where you can just go around and work from anywhere. Digital nomad. Shout out to my man. That was his term. How to be a digital nomad. Find side work so you can do it anywhere. It's our remote work. Shout out. So that's going to be the next one I probably do. Talking about being a digital nomad, securing contracts at a decent rate, and with them being remote, you can do them from anywhere. Right. So once again, thanks for joining me. I'm out. I'm going to lay down a little bit. Had a long day for me for some reason. Once again, thanks everybody for joining me. Thanks to Super Chat and thanks to y'all. I got to come up with a name. So we growing as a team. We growing as a group. I really appreciate the support. Shout out to everybody.